Hey Viva fam! So today we're going to eliminate from your vocabulary the words I gave up, I regressed to square one. No more jumping from one fat loss strategy to the next without any plan. No more white-knuckling yourself through a program, a diet, or a workout because you feel it should work for you if only you had more willpower. No more believing I've tried everything and nothing works for me. What if there was a system that once learned gave you all the tools and strategies that you need to make progress towards your goals, whatever they may be right now, or even if they change 5 years from now? That could radically transform not only how you approach your fat loss, but also any health and fitness goal forever. Would you want to know about this system? Well, we've got it. I'm Richa.
And I'm Lucy. Over the last few videos, you'll have already known that at any given time, only 20% of the strategies out there is meant to work uniquely for you. And why? By just sheer volume, 80% we're actually set up to fail at more of the stuff we try if we don't have a plan. And we've not only spent over 10 years perfecting our own systems for achieving health, but we have also coached over 100 clients at this point. By now, we've seen and tried pretty much everything under the sun. So we promise you that regardless of what your situation is, everyone has a 20%.
And to make matters worse, the 20% is deceptively difficult if you're only looking at the scale weight to track your progress or what your friends say is working for them. You've heard Lucy's story of how she tried a method in the beginning and she gave up on it because she wasn't seeing enough progress on the scale, only to figure out 7 years later that that was the right method for her all along. Or how I spent over $25,000 when all I needed to do was to tweak my nutrition and meal timing. And you know what? What worked for you in the past may not actually work for you now. I mean, you can ask the countless clients we have had who tried something 10 years ago or 5 years ago and they're trying to do it again and it's not working for them because they have a completely different lifestyle or metabolism at this point. You have to learn how to hone in your 20% for where you're at right now.
And when you're finally able to do this, then you know that feeling when you're tossing and turning at night and wondering why am I still not making progress? Why does it seem like everybody else is making progress on Orange Theory Fitness, but I'm not? Maybe I should try keto again for the 5th time because maybe I didn't do it correctly the first couple of times. You know that feeling? Well, that knot goes away. Because once you know how to implement the system, the big rock system as we call it, then you will have peace of mind and confidence to know that no matter where you're at in your fitness journey or how much time and money you have devoted to your health, you have the confidence and freedom to figure out a system that works for you and get you to where you want to be and get you there in as short of time as possible. And imagine a future where you don't have to choose between health or work or relationships and family. You'll be able to fit health into your schedule no matter what. When you have this confidence to keep pushing forward on your health goals, or the freedom to pick from an infinite set of strategies to find what your 20% is at any given moment, no matter what life throws at you, either tomorrow or 5 years from now, you will never use the words, I give up, or start over, or never works again. So that's what this video is about. Are you ready to achieve this?
Now, we have worked with over 100 clients who all started with different stories and different ideas of what they needed to do to get to their fat loss goal. They all had one of two things in common. Number one, they believed that they were doing everything right or that they had tried everything and nothing was working for them, and they wondered if there was something wrong with them. Or number two, they strongly believed that they were already on the method that would get them to success, but they were just not trying hard enough. They wanted us to help them white-knuckle their way through the program. And you know what? When we started on our own two journeys a long time ago, we also thought the same thing.
Believing we were doing everything right. So I cycled through countless different unsustainable strategies over the years, so much that I ended up being convinced that there was something wrong with my body.
I believed strongly that there was only one way to do something, and I thought that was exercise. And I kept exercising to the degree that I have an injury that I still have to take care of till today. Now we're in a different place. Both of us lost over 10% of body fat and we have kept it off for many years. And it all started with understanding that number one, we have to find our 20%. And number two, no one has the same exact 20%.
Now at this point, some of you might be thinking, but guys, I really have tried everything. I have PCOS and I have an injury that prevents me from working out, and I don't have time to cook, and I don't have money for the gym, and so on and so forth. And I get it. I'm not saying those problems aren't real. It sucks. Some of us are just not dealt with the best cards. But you know what else? Those are exactly the type of people that the big rock system is most useful for. Because think about it. What's worked for everybody else, that is, those without special circumstances, will almost certainly not apply to you if you have special circumstances. What we have seen with our busiest paycheck to paycheck people, or those fighting metabolic issues, is that they are the people who are most likely to get desperate and then start cycling through a bunch of things. Basically, they're stuck in that 80% zone. Remember, that's the zone where you're stuck on things that don't work well for you. You're like basically throwing spaghetti at the wall and just seeing what sticks. I know a guy who has done everything, and he was almost about to give up. He was a single dad with a family to support. He was living paycheck to paycheck, living on something like $5 a day to sustain himself. He worked 3 jobs, weekdays and weekends, and really had no time for anything other than maybe a lunch break, a quick dinner, and then sleeping. And yet, with all those cards stacked against him, eventually, somehow, he was able to figure out a system that worked for him. He ended up working out almost every single day. Instead of going to a gym, he found a park nearby to work out in, and he was able to eat balanced meals off of cheap foods, like frozen foods, for instance. And he did a host of other small changes in his life, and all of that was his 20%. If he can do it, why not you?
On the other hand, but some of you might say, but guys, I know low carb will work for me. I just need to stick to it harder, or have more accountability, or wait until my work is less busy, and so I can prioritize it again, and so on and so forth. Okay, but why are you so convinced that this time, when this condition is checked or that condition is checked and so on and so forth, you will finally be able to do something that you haven't been able to do so many times before? I mean, you may be right, but from our experience, having coached over 100 clients, we have not seen any client succeed, 0%, in just white-knuckling their way through something that has not worked so many times. And when I say succeed, I mean lose weight and keep it off. Anyone can lose weight only to gain it back. I'm not counting those. And while we have not seen anyone succeed through sheer willpower, we have taught our clients how to hack their willpower in order to make the strategy succeed for them. And that's a completely different skill to be learning.
This reminds me that the other day I was at a friend's house and I was in the middle of eating some cake when somebody came and they wanted to talk to me about something. Next thing I know, we were in the living room and we were still having a conversation going when someone came from the kitchen with a plate of a partially eaten cake, and they were like, "Hey, whose cake is this?" And I said, "Oh, that's mine. I forgot I was eating that." And then I was like, I have never said that ever about dessert. 10 years ago, I could never have imagined myself to be the type of person who can start a dessert and then not inhale it in one go. And I remember back in the days when I would just try over and over again to cut dessert from my life, and convincing myself that I just needed more willpower in order to do it. And it always backfired on me. And inevitably, I would end up squeezing my willpower tank dry and end up binging on dessert and other stuff eventually. But when I stopped trying to simply beat my willpower and started working towards my goals in a more strategic way, then the capability to stop overeating on sweets became 10 times easier. And today, it's even effortless and natural. And when I think about what it feels to achieve this kind of effortlessness in my health life, I'm reminded of some of our clients who have graduated. These are people who have lost weight and learned how to maintain it themselves without our help anymore, who came to us in the same situation where they felt overwhelmed by all the things they had to do, or felt that all they needed to do was just to work harder at the same thing, even though that thing may not be working for them. They all went through our coaching and are now able to navigate through their new goals beyond just fat loss. So whether that's muscle gain, running, taking their fat loss to the next level and get into athletic shape. Because the Big Rock system isn't another diet program or exercise program. The world doesn't need more of those. It's a transformation training that takes all of the guesswork out of what to do, how to do it, and what kind of progress to expect. Because I guarantee you that even in the next year, there's going to be hundreds of more new diet program or workout programs or tips and tricks out there. You don't have to go through each of them one by one, wondering which one is the holy grail this time. But you will have a system to quickly test out which diet or workout works best for you. You'll be able to recognize patterns and all the new stuff that will come out at you, and you'll be able to make a decision regardless of what the circumstances are.
But before I tell you more about the Big Rock System program, I need to warn you. Because we can only take on a certain number of people, registration will be open only for a short amount of time, and then we'll close the registration and start the class. Since you're watching this video, I'm guessing you're either trying a lot of stuff and you're trying to figure out what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you, or you feel like you need to try twice as hard and be able to stick to your plans. Regardless, the Big Rock System is going to help you achieve your goal. So first off, when you join our Big Rock System program, you will get the full Big Rock System course that takes you through all of the strategies and tactics that we have tried and tested on over 100 clients. I've broken this training up into different modules that takes you step by step on how to find, filter, test, and evolve your 20%. And after the program is over, you will have access to the course forever, so you can always go back and practice again everything that you learned. The modules will drop weekly, but the course itself is totally self-paced, and you will have access to us to ask questions at any time, even after the course ends. You learn step by step how to figure out your 20%. Step by step how to test your 20% using methods that don't require just gritting your teeth through it until you give up. Another way to say this, step-by-step way to know ASAP if something is working or not for you. No more spending months on stuff that'll never last for you anyway. How to really know if you're actually making progress or not, regardless of what the scale says. You may think this requires just checking your weight. It does not. This is mind-blowing stuff. How to evaluate a new diet or program you've never heard of before. I'll show you how to do all of that in the Big Rock System program. The bottom line is that we're going to cover a lot of ground in the next few weeks, and you're going to come out of it with your 20% action plan. This is generally valued at $197, but we have a special deal for you. Keep watching for it.
But just knowing about things is not enough. I know that if all I do is just read something or watch something, I'm not actually going to change because there's nothing making me actually do something about it. Have you ever bought a bunch of programs or exercise equipment and maybe you took a look, read a few chapters, and then left it lying around, thinking that someday you're going to come back to it later? Because I have. So I don't want to just hand you stuff and then say good luck, because I know if somebody did that to me, I will not take action. That's why we're going to have live Q&A calls where we walk you through the material in real time, and then you can ask us any questions afterwards. This is generally valued at $497, but we're including it in the package as a special bonus just for you. Don't have the time to attend the live calls? I get it, we're busy too. That's why all calls will be recorded and available for rewatch anytime. And if you don't have the time to watch or listen through an entire call, don't worry, I get that time crunch is brutal. So we're going to include a bullet point takeaway list of all the things we discuss in the lesson and in the call. Now you can catch up within minutes of every lesson or quickly review whatever we covered in the previous lesson. This is worth $37, and once again, we're including it as a bonus. What if you have questions about the course lessons that you forgot to ask during the live Q&A session? Been there. That's why we're including an exclusive Insiders Community Membership Program, where you can engage with peers in the same journey as you, and you can also ask questions to the group or to us. You can even message us privately with questions if you want to. And you'll have access to this membership program for 60 days, and for that, it is valued at $57, and we are including that as a bonus. And if you have questions about a specific situation that you feel is really private and you don't want to share it with other people, you can message us anytime privately for personalized coaching and help. And you get unlimited access to us for 60 days. This is valued at $234, and we're also including that as a bonus in our package.
Now you may be thinking that once I identify what my actionable 20% is, I need to actually start testing it. And how do I track how the testing is going? We're on top of this. Another thing is the Viva journal that we're going to ship to you. It is specifically designed to track your body transformation progress. It is valued at $27, but we're including this as a free bonus. Now, some of you may be wondering, I already bought this diet or this workout or some other program and I haven't finished it yet. So maybe I should finish that first before I buy this Big Rock System program. Perfect. Because now is the perfect time to use the Big Rock System program. Again, the Big Rock System is not a diet or a workout program. What it helps you with is to figure out within all of the diets and workouts programs that exist out there, which one is the diet or workout that's going to work for you. Without it, you're going to spend far too much time on a particular diet or a particular program without realizing that it's not the right fit for you. Another thing that some of you might be wondering, if you have gotten programs before and you have not finished 100% of it, and you might be wondering, oh, what if I buy this and I still don't do 100% of it? The thing is, since we're giving you tools and strategies, you don't need to know all of it to get closer to your 20%. This is not a pull-up program where you have to complete 100% of the program in order to get your first pull-up, and then you're done with the program forever. The Big Rock System are tools and strategies that you can use forever. It's more like, even if you have only taken beginner Spanish classes, you're still able to start conversing, even if you have not gotten to fluent Spanish. So even if you apply just 10% of the full course, I guarantee that you'll be able to start applying the learnings to your life in a meaningful way. And again, this course is self-paced, so you can come back and always go back over what you have not done or even stuff that you've already done.
And if you're like me, you hate information overwhelm. People like us tend to feel like we need to know a lot about how fat loss works before we can even start to understand and learn something like this. Otherwise, we feel like we're not ready, or we're just going to be overwhelmed by more information and won't be able to put it into practice. Like Rich just said, if you even take away just the first 10% of it, you will already be able to be on your way and start putting it into practice in a meaningful way. But if you still have reservations, don't worry, we are going to include our video course called Lose Fat and Gain Muscle on Your Terms. This is a concise 3-hour-long 5-part video course that covers pretty much everything you need to know about fat loss and muscle gain. It covers science fundamentals, nutrition, exercise, mindset, etc. This course is valued at $97, but we're including it for free in this package. And if you're not a fan of video, we want to cover you as well. So we're also including, as a free bonus, our book of the same name. Because one thing we hate is reading a book where only 20% of the actual information is in the book, and the rest of the 80% of the book is either repetition or just fluff and stories. Not this book. It's pure information and action steps. So you'll learn everything you need to learn about nutrition and exercise and fat loss without having to read 300 pages. This book is worth $19, but we are including it in the package for free for you.
Now, usually this is the part where I go, that sounds really cool, but I think I can do this on my own. And yes, you can, if you're willing to put in the time and the money that both of us have put towards it. 10 years and over $45,000 combined. Or if you just get lucky in your first few tries. That's great if that works out for you. Most of us don't get so lucky.
I'm very stingy by nature, so before I was even able to drop a cent on any program or learning material, I would try to find as many free resources as I can online. I signed up for free email lists, I looked through Reddit posts, I looked at a bunch of YouTube videos in order to gather the information to help me towards my weight loss goal. And I consumed these types of content for years. And while it did help teach me a lot about different diets, different workouts, and how our bodies worked, learning about these kinds of things can only take you so far. It never taught me the strategies for tailoring all of these information, the 100% of everything out there, into the 20% that was going to work for me most efficiently. And I realized only years later that all the success stories from YouTubers and Instagrammers out there, these people are only sharing the tip of the iceberg. For instance, there was this one person that I had followed, and I thought all they needed to do was just go on the keto diet in order to lose weight and maintain it. So I latched onto that as my golden ticket to succeed as well. But that was the tip of the iceberg. I didn't know until later how underneath the water, she was also planning out her meals every week. She was monitoring how her portions were. She was monitoring how often she ate out with friends. She deliberately scheduled out certain cheat meals and probably a host of other things I still don't know today. And that's the stuff that's missing. That's the stuff people don't post about or talk about. And that's why, in addition to all the stuff we have mentioned before, we're also including detailed case studies of all the strategies our clients and ourselves have used to succeed in the past. So you're going to get to know what happens beneath the water, the rest of the iceberg. Because it's this part, that's what you need to change your life. Now, the strategy employed by the people in these case studies include popular strategies like keto and intermittent fasting and meal timing. But you'll also get to see a combination of the strategies working because most people don't follow one pure thing. For instance, combining calorie cycling with meal timing, or strategic uses of floating cheat days rather than having it on a fixed schedule. And don't worry if you don't understand what all of these terms mean yet, you will. We will guide you step by step. And we'll walk you through exactly how these people adapted the strategies and combinations of strategies to fit their changing lifestyle. If you downloaded the actionable 20% guide from our previous videos, what we're talking here, these are the individual case study files that we use to build that guide. And now you'll have access to the raw files. These case studies are valued at $47, but we're going to include it as a bonus in this program because that's how important we think it will be for you.
But I get it. Even after hearing all of this, you may be thinking, but I just need to work hard enough. I know what to do, or I don't have enough willpower, or I need more accountability, especially for my fellow overachievers and hard workers out there. That's why we're including another bonus just for you. Remember what we said earlier about hacking your willpower instead of white-knuckling your way through it? We'll include a hacking your willpower mini course that teaches you exactly how to do this. Don't force yourself to generate more willpower if you're already exhausted. Instead, make willpower come to you. This is valued at $47, but we're putting it in here as a free bonus.
So if you add up the total value, well, you're already at $1,259. And by now, you're probably wondering what is the actual cost for the Big Rock System program that you will be getting. For you, your investment in the Big Rock System program is just $97. Remember, if you want to stop jumping from diet to diet, workout to workout, always wondering why you're not making progress, or second guessing yourself and wondering if you should restart something that you have tried already millions of times in the past, then you have to become intentional and systematic about figuring out and working your 20%. Think about how your life will be different when you're able to commit to the Big Rock System so that you can hone in your 20% before you take action in life.
So go ahead and check the link in the description below on how you can register for the Big Rock System program.
Oh, one last thing I need to mention. This is a limited time offer. You see, the Big Rock System program will only be open for a few days, and usually this is 2 to 5 days depending on when we get full. Because then we have to close down registration and start the class. Because once it's open, our days will totally be taken over by getting the new students onboarded, rolling, and successful. So if you want in, then you need to act quickly because the registration window is usually not open for very long.
So if you're ready to stop saying things like, why am I not making progress? Why does this work for her and not for me? What am I doing wrong? I just need to try this for the 5th time, and this time I'm gonna try really hard and it's gonna work. Then your next step is to check out the link in the description below and get registered in the Big Rock System program. Oh, also, if for whatever reason you're dissatisfied and you want your money back, you can ask for it at any time. That's right, it's not a 30-day guarantee or a 60-day guarantee, it's a no time limit, anytime guarantee. This means you can literally go in there and download all of the course and then ask for your money back and I will give it back to you. Now, I'm not saying you do something like that, but I'm trying to show you just how confident we are in the value of this program and how much of a safe offer this is for you. There is zero risk on your end.
One last thing, we're not fat loss magicians. We just stumbled on a discovery over 3 years ago that has become what is now called the Big Rock System. Since then, we have continuously worked on it, in refining it, adding to it, improving it, perfecting it. The result is a method, a system, and a process that can be applied very successfully over and over again.
If you're ready to stop saying things like, why am I not making progress? Why does this work for her and not for me? And what am I doing wrong? Then your next step is to go to the link in the description below and join us in the Big Rock System program. This is your time, and I'd love to serve you in eliminating the words, I give up, start over, and nothing works from your vocabulary forever.
You have a big decision to make, and we can't make that for you. The only thing we can tell you confidently is that the Big Rock system works. It's worked for us and it's worked for our coaching clients. If you're ready to stop saying things like, why am I not making progress? Why does this work for her but not me? What am I doing wrong? And maybe I should just try this again for the 5th time in a row even though it hasn't worked for me yet. Then the next step is to click register now. Then your next step is to click on the link in the description below to register now and get registered for the Big Rock System program.